Well, we're in stop and go traffic, so I want to do a video on how autopilot behaves in stop and go traffic. This is 2018.26.3. Get rid of that. You can see we're in stop and go traffic. It's even telling me to turn around, but I'm not going to because I want to show you how this works. And it's doing better than ever here in 2018.26.3. Everything's smoother. It doesn't seem to be slamming on the brakes like it used to, and like not noticing and slamming. It seems like it doesn't really even use the brakes. It just makes sure to only use regenerative braking in almost every case, unless the driver in front of me is slamming on their brakes as well. And that's a different story. I'm sure you can understand. Why are we turning to the left there? That's really weird. All right. The light just turned green, so we're going to get going here in a second. Otherwise, I would stop the camera. But I'm not going to stop it now. And there's a little bit of rain on the windshield. My wipers aren't working right now. I've got Rain X on there. So let's see how we start up, and let's see if what this wheel is going to do. Looks like the rain might be heading back our way as well. All right, it's straightening it out.
In 3.4 miles, turn left on Bryn Cameron Avenue.
See that van's braking, but we're braking very slowly. You can see over here, unless we get down to -50, the brakes, the traditional brakes, don't come into play. So if it's not down to -50, I think it's doing a really good job of modulation and an efficient job too, because that's something I noticed in the past. So there's the emergency vehicle from the accident. In the past, it has not been doing an efficient job. You know, of course, anytime in a hybrid or in an all-electric vehicle, whenever you use the brakes, traditional brakes, you're hurting your range or your fuel mileage, depending if you've got a hybrid, because that is not the efficient way to go. It's an inefficiency to ever use traditional brakes. And you probably know on the Tesla system, they taper it off as you approach maybe 5 miles an hour or so. They start to let off on the regenerative braking, and you have to get into the traditional brakes. Otherwise, it would just grind you to a halt and jerk you to a stop and lock the tires probably. So there's a little bit of inefficiency right before you're stopping a few miles an hour, but that's the only time. So the most efficient trip would never include any stops, so that it wouldn't have to ever cut back on the amount of regenerative braking. See, again, forgive my little creak every time we stop in the rain. It always does that on the brakes for my car for some reason. Let me know if it does it on your Tesla. But you notice every little sound that you would never notice necessarily in a regular vehicle because it's so quiet. There we go, making that noise again. But it's smooth. I'm trying to, that's what I want to show you with this video. Look at that tailgating car, wow. They like to drive close. That person's in a rush. I wonder if we're going to lose a lane up here or something. Everybody seems to kind of shifting around now. Let's see, I'm not touching the wheel, I'm not doing anything, I'm not stressed out. Now if someone tries to cut me off, that's a whole different story. Hopefully we won't witness that, but see that car right there? Let's see what's gonna happen here. Cars, are we gonna stop or are we gonna hit this car? Stop or hit the car? Okay, we're stopping. It looks like we're stopping. That's good, you see, because the car's only partially in the lane. That's a good sign, I like that. Now it's not going to turn the wheel all the way and go off the road like some people might, like that person might try to pass me doing that, but autopilot's not going to do that. That could cause a problem if someone's trying to pass, but they're not, thankfully. We're getting close to the accident. I think the accident is down here, right around there. Start to speed back up again. So I don't know if we're going to increase the speeds or we're going to have to merge. What's going to happen? See, everyone's making a little, now here we're speeding up because we got a little break in traffic now. Hopefully we won't have to slam on the brakes. So let's watch the gauge there. Okay, it's only a little bit of regenerative braking. That's good. See, it's modulating it well. I'm gonna keep this gauge up. I like this
Vehicle stopped on road ahead.
where you can tell about the regenerative braking. I really like that. I don't know why I didn't use it before. I guess I always have my tire pressures up, but they're less and less important to me. I mean, it is good to know every once in a while, and they do pop up on their own every once in a while without you even doing anything, just to remind you. But nice and smooth. See, I could totally let autopilot take over. In the past, whenever we were in traffic, especially like this, you know, you're constantly stopping and going, speeding up, slowing down, speeding up, slowing down. I would always get in there to the brakes before autopilot started to slow down, because otherwise it's just going to jab the brakes, and not only not efficient, but it wears the brakes down and jerks me around. I don't like that either. But now I don't even have to do it. But it still does this funky thing with the wheel sometimes. See how it's turning the wheel? I don't know what, doing a low speed slalom or something. What in the world is it doing? I don't know. And also notice I haven't had to touch the wheel. This autopilot buddy seems to work really well at low speeds. Sometimes on the highway it gives a problem. That's where it typically cuts off on me, is on the highways. Seems to be not as sensitive at low speeds, or maybe because the wheel's turning a lot like it was doing, and we're stopping and going. It doesn't ever get into a position where it thinks I'm not there, because obviously I'm not touching it at all, as you can see. Not doing anything. Now we're heading down to that low bridge. I think that's where the accident is, or was at least. Maybe they've cleared it by now. Make my great little sound there. $100,000 car braking noise. I can still see traffic as far down as the road as I can look. Trying to get that white balance so it's not blinding everybody here. I'm gonna darken that thing up. There we go, that's better. But so much smoother. All this is so smooth. I mean, it's basically about as smooth as I could do it as a human, but consistently and all the time, which I cannot do all the time. So this is kind of where you're seeing the advantages of self-driving cars, is in the consistency. There's no way a human could be as consistent. Just impossible. I mean, look how many times we're braking and speeding up, braking, speeding up. And like, there's the car, it's with hazards, you see it in the left, in the right lane? I'm gonna have to move over. So I'm gonna have to take autopilot off here in order to move over. It's just like a broken down car. I don't know if it's broken down, maybe there was an accident and it's not mobile, it can't move. In which case there's probably a wrecker showing up any minute, if that's the case. And I think we're just gonna wait till the last second to move over. I think that's what we're gonna do. I'll try to keep the camera going, but I'm gonna have to, I'm gonna put my signal on. I'm gonna have to move over. Let's see if anybody's gonna let me in. Yeah, I turn it off now. Anybody gonna let me in? Is this car gonna let me in? Yes. Thank you. Cars just, let's see, there's a piece of the bumper there. So, all right, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you think of the stop and go. You know, Rain-X is finally working. Let me know what you think of the stop and go driving and how autopilot works in stop and go. I think it's awesome, but I'd love to hear your thoughts too. So let me know in the comments. Thanks so much for watching.